What's going on YouTube channel? Stars down again. Y'all know the deal. Go hard, go home. We're gonna talk about some facts again today. I got a homie today said he gonna tell us the real reason why most black men are struggling with sisters. I'm interested in hearing this part. So I just looked at the comment. I just looked at some of the comments, and I just looked at the title, and I'm gonna see what this dude is gonna say. All right. So hey. Before we get into that, y'all hit the subscribe button for me. Y'all already know my thing. I'm never gonna ask for cash apps. Never gonna ask for money. I just do the doggone comments or whatever, and that's what we do on this channel. Ain't gonna be down that pan and all the other good stuff. We gonna experiment and this stuff. We gonna find out what's going on. All I want is the subscribers. That's it. So that way I can stay interested. I know there's people listening. It's steady climbing. Okay, let's roll. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into this right here. And we're going to see what the real problem is. We're going to see why some black guys are struggling with black women. Y'all know I'm probably going to have something to say about it, but let's get into it. Let's see what goes down.
Sensations and high vibrations of Alex, host of the best relationship channel on YouTube. Alex, drop them gems on us.
Man in his dating life. Like, what does that mean?
Lil Durk, King Von, y'all know. But nah, dating life, I would say the closer you fit to whatever the celebrity, the current rappers, like I said, Lil Durk, what's the other dude? Quando, Rondo, all those dudes. The closer you fit to what that stereotype, you like some girls will be, they'll just be down, especially black chicks.
I was about to say.
They like that shit, bro.
I think that mostly attracts black chicks.
I don't know what it is, bro, but they like that. They don't like when a dude has it together. I don't
clean cut look.
Yeah, bro, and I don't want to say that because it sounds.
Well, okay, this is part of the problem. Okay, this early start. Let me go ahead and say this. All right, I'm not gonna say that black women don't like guys who have it together. What I'm gonna say is that the majority of guys, majority of women that have this idea are ghetto black women. We have a high percentage of ghetto black women. All right, ghetto loser ass women is probably about 90% of black women. That's just my opinion. It's probably about 90% of black women. You got about 10% of them that's on the up and rise and other shit, and then the rest of them just on bullshit. They just there. It's kind of the same thing with guys. That's why women is always complaining. That, oh, you want to say 80, or y'all can say 80% of each side or whatever. You top 20% of men, the top 10% of men, the top 10% of women, the top 20% of women, whichever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. So the problem winds up being is that percentage of trashy people is higher than the percentage of people that's not trashy. So it makes things look a certain type of way. But let's keep going.
Sounds like I'm trying to bash. I'm not bashing black women, but it just is what it is.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. I attract the most Latinas and white girls. That's what I attract.
Yeah, same. I think because I have that professional, clean-cut R&B type of look, that's why I also mostly attract Hispanic and white women. And you guys be in the comments like, do you not like black women? I'm like, black women don't like me.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honestly truthful here. You know what I'm saying? It's not liking black women. It's just that the majority of black women are not gonna like this type of guy. They look too soft for black women. Okay, too soft. And like I'm saying, the majority of black women. That's the majority. But the one that they will fit into it with are so few and far in between that I can understand them saying like black women don't like me, and they're probably not around that kind of woman either. That kind of woman, they're probably not around her, or if it is, it's a very small minority. There's like one black girl there. If they go to a party, it's probably gonna be mostly white girls, Hispanics, and cause I had this kind of lifestyle myself, and I can manipulate it between where I want to go. But if I don't want to deal with ghetto shit, I don't go fuck with the black girls. I go over here where the Latino and the white chicks are hanging out at. And there's a few black girls over there too, but it's never many. It's never many when you get in that situation. Once you go to you start going up at higher levels of shit, you're gonna start having a bunch of white and Latino women. This is the reason why when they start saying that when black guys get money, they run off and get a white girl or a Latina girl. No. You said when you get it to the higher levels of life, you're going to start running out of black women. They're going to be 2 and 3 up there, maybe out of 50 or 60 women. It's going to be 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 black girls out of 50, 60, 100 women. It just gets smaller the higher you get to the top. And it's that same way for the black women too. So
Like,
Listen, man, in this world, you get what you go where you really want it.
yeah.
Wherever you want it, that's where you go.
I attract, I don't chase.
Yeah, dude,
so
in the
I
comments.
attract, you know, what's into me.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of Elite Fleet. And this is going to be a good video. I can feel it because I'm already turned up. And when I'm about to black out and I'm turned up, it's going to be a good video. Today we're going to talk about Austin Dunham and Jacked and Stacked and them talking about how black women don't like them predominantly because there's not thugs. We're going to break that down. I'm going to tell you the real reason why a lot of black men, not a lot of black men, but some black men struggle to attract black women that nobody's talking about because I know what it is. But before I do that, I want to break down a few things they said in this video that's complete cap and not true. Okay. Number one, they said black women tend to go towards the thugs and the bad boys, predominantly black women. That is cap, that's not true. First of all, I want y'all to realize how much the red pill contradicts itself because they say all the time, oh, women like the bad boys. Women like the Chads, the Tyrone, the Pookies, and the Ray Rays. So if women like the bad boys and it's not just black women who like the bad boys, then how can you say, oh, it's predominantly black women who go after the thugs and the hood dudes? That's cap.
okay, this guy got a complete misunderstanding of what he just heard. These guys didn't say it was predominantly black women that go after that. They said when it comes to them, predominantly black women don't go after them. And they have noticed this other thing. Because when they're around most of them, like I say, I had that shit kind of myself. I don't think this guy's really been outside of the arena of a lot of just black people. I you know what I'm saying? When I hear guys talking like this person is on the screen right now, because I don't even know his name, they don't have any culture outside of their own culture. They think they do, but they don't. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep saying listen to what he's saying.
Let me tell you something. If you ever grew up in the hood or you know any hood dudes, they can get any chick from any race. It does not matter. If you think white girls not getting their back blown out by dudes from the hood, you're crazy. If you think Asian girls not getting their backs blown out by dudes from the hood, you crazy. And if you think Latino girls aren't getting their backs blown out by dudes from the hood, you crazy.
Okay, now see, I'm gonna agree with him, but it'd be the ghetto ones. See, that's the problem with that. He's not telling them that part. It be the ghetto ones. It's not the high level ones. It's not them. The ghetto black guys do get the women from these other groups. They do, but they don't get the good ones. They don't get they get the bottom of the barrel motherfuckers, the hood bitches from all the areas. He's explaining that right now. He doesn't understand that, but that's what he's explaining. Yeah, let's just see the rest of what he says.
First of all these people have their own hoods. You guys must not know about the Latin Kings. Don't tell me Latino girls don't like hood dudes. My dude, when he was coming up and he was going through school, he kept being bullied. He was going to join the gang. His sister had to go and to join the gang with him to stop him from joining the gang because he didn't want her to join the gang. He wasn't joining no black gang. He was going to join the Latin Kings. I repeat, he was going to join the Latin Kings. So
what the fuck does that have to do with this? Nothing. Yes, everybody got their own game. Everybody got their own hood. And that's why I'm just saying, when you the hood dude, you get them hood bitches from the other hood groups or the other hood people. You don't get the ones that's doggone successful and all this shit. So this right here that he's saying is fucking trash. But this is what these guys get on this doggone internet, and that's why they're misleading a bunch of younger guys, because they're talking about shit like this. Hood is hood. Yes, the hood black dudes get the hood Latina chicks. They get the hood, the trailer trash white girls. Yes, they do. No lying, but what he doing is bullshitting right now. You trying to make this look like you can just get from any group. No, that's not what's going on.
So don't tell me, oh, it's predominantly black women who like the bad boys. That's cap. If you got mob ties, you getting all the white chicks. If you down with the triads, you getting all the Asian girls. Any dude who got that bad boy swag to him is always gonna get girls, especially in their young years. So stop it. You can't put that all on black women, okay? The next thing that was cap.
Okay, nobody put it all on black women. Okay. Here's the deal. What he just said was accurate. You got gangs from each group. But the thing he's not explaining is the women that like these gangster types are usually trashy women. So he's not explaining that part. But I do.
You had Jack the Stack say, oh, well, black women, they just don't come to me like that, but Latinos and white women do. If Latino women don't think you're corny, black women wouldn't think you're corny. If black women think you're corny, you're not about to convince me Latino women don't think you're corny. First of all, black community and the Latino community is like this. They're almost always right next to each other, and they always rock together. I just told you about my man.
Okay, this dude is full of shit. This dude is full of shit now. Okay. I don't know where this dude is from or how many Latino people he's been around. And they do rock with you, they chill with you, but Latino people are really, really race loyal. Hispanics in general. So they're not down with you like that. What you thinking is you could be down with them. I was down with a lot of Hispanic people when I was in the army. But when push comes to shove, they're gonna be for themselves. And that's just the truth. I mean, I'm not being racist and I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? Hell, I love Puerto Rican food, I love Mexican food, I love Hispanics. I like hanging out with them and shit. But I do know one thing, when it come down to push come to shove, they're about their race. And ain't nothing wrong with that.
When he was going to join the gang, he wasn't going to join the black gang, he was going to join the Latin gang. He was going to be a Latin king. Y'all gotta understand, I'm from New York. You can't tell me nothing about Latinos. The Bronx was right next to Brooklyn. That's where all the Latinos was at.
Okay, this guy's from New York. So there's no wonder. Yeah, he's right. You can't tell him anything. I've met a lot of New Yorkers. They know everything. And here's the deal. This dude right here really got into some jump with them Latinos, right? And it came down to some Latinos or that black dude. Guess who's gonna get it? Because that's what the deal's gonna happen. He ain't understanding that. So he ain't really dealt with them like that, I don't think. You live by him. But I don't think you live with them. I live with them. That's different. We live in the same space. I lived with them. They cool people. But it ain't what he talking about.
And they always bang with the black people. They got black swag. We both color. We tend to get oppressed in this country together. We have a lot more things in common than we have not in common at the end of the day. I go to a Dominican barbershop. I got to go back to the Dominican barbershop.
See, this dude is really miseducated. He ain't got a lot in common with them. They're going to get more loans than you. They got more stuff they're going to get. When I was in the Army, in my homeboy opinions of some average bros, he going to watch this. I know he can go ahead and vouch for this. We knew people who couldn't even speak English. They brought them there. They went through whole processes, took them from Spanish places, Puerto Rico and stuff like that, sent them to Lackland Air Force Base and taught them English so they could join the military, so they could do this. They're not making no extra doggone moves for black people like that. So see, this guy's got a real misunderstanding. You dude. But he's New Yorker. You ain't gonna tell him shit, and I know that.
Barbershop. I gotta get lined up again. It's gonna be a Dominican who lines me up. So for you to sit here and say, oh, Latino women are attracted to me, but not black women. If black women think you're corny, for whatever reason they think you're corny, Latino women are gonna think you're corny too.
That ain't the truth. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. I've seen guys that couldn't get black girls, they could get Latina girls, they can get white girls. I've seen this happen. The reason why it happens is because in the Latino community and in the Hispanic community, it's more traditionally taught about family and stuff like that. So those women might be willing to take a black guy to build a family with. They're more about that type of thing. That's not really taught in the black community. That's why the black woman, the man is just, it's to the majority of them, that lower percent, You just a replaceable, this and that. Can you pay my bills? La 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 la, that kind of thing. And you don't have a lot of that in the Latino community, except for with the gangsters and shit. And their gangsters and stuff, their gangster women and gangster, all this other shit ain't as big a percentage of them as it is ours.
9 out of 10 times. One of my best female friends is a Dominican. Those of you who are subscribed to this channel, you already know that. One of my other good friends who's a female is Mexican. And let me
Oh, there's two. Two people? Two? I'm talking about hundreds, homie. I'm talking about, I have hundreds of these people be my friends and talking to them and knowing them. And this Jordan, he talking about, I mean, like, yeah, if you knew one or two of them, you might feel this way. But if you know more, nope. Word.
Let me tell you something else about Latinos, because I noticed online in the YouTube space, they like to say, oh, black dudes should go for Latinos. Oh, black dudes should go for Latinos. Let me tell you something about Latinos. First of all, I agree with them that you should go where you want to, okay? So if a white girl wants you, you want her, that's fine. Asian girl wants you, you want her, that's fine. You know, tomato, who cares? But let me tell you guys something, since we always like to talk about statistics. There's no race in America that dates outside of their race over 20%. I repeat, there's no race in America that dates interracially over 20%. Therefore, no matter what race of women you like, if you're not of the same race as them, you got a 2 out of 10 chance of finding one who's going to take you serious. Most Latino women are not taking black men serious. They'll smash you. They'll be cool with you. You know, y'all can have a fling, but a serious relationship, they're not going to do it, especially their first generation. My Mexican homegirl, for example, and my Dominican homegirl, they're first generation.
So this is my thing, though. With him saying this, he kind of just contradicted everything he said before about them rocking with us. Oh, they just rock with you like that. They just rock with you like that. The Latinos and the black people are like this. They rock with you like that. But he just went back on everything he just said and told you what I just said to you, that most of them going to be doggone race loyal. That's what he's talking about right now.
I mean by first generation is their parents actually come from the Dominican and Mexico. They were born here, but their parents weren't. So they're not about to bring a black man home.
Traditional stuff, race, loyalty. What I just said, not even 5 minutes before he started talking about it.
No, they're going to bring a traditional man of their culture home because that's what their parents and their family are going to accept. Now, if you get to the second...
What did I just tell you? What did I just tell you? That they're going to be race loyal and they're going to be traditional. They don't rock with the black people like that, like he just said. That is cap. He is the one capping. He's saying somebody else is capping, and this is some of the problem with the doggone internet and the doggone manosphere and these black guys on here talking. A lot of them don't have no culture. They think because they got a few friends that they understand these people's culture, but they don't. He definitely doesn't understand it because he just turned around and explained away what he just said. He said one thing, and he turned around and explained it away. He's doing it right now. He's telling you they're race loyal and everything else, blah, 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 blah. And I agree with him on that point. It's just that they don't rock with you the same way that he's saying.
Second generation, third generations, and down the line, you got a higher probability that they're not going to care. But again, still, statistically speaking, most of them are going to want someone in their own race. Most of our races want someone within their own race. So stop just acting like, oh, black man, you can just go to these Latinas. Unless you're going to go overseas and buy you a chick from a third world country looking for a green card, it's not about to be that simple to settle down with a Latina. Smash, sure, but...
That's just not even the truth, guy. That's not even the truth. The most black guys I've seen, especially when I was in the Army, that was happily married, was married to Hispanic women. The everyday average guy. I saw a lot of marriages in the Army between black men and Hispanic women. I don't know what this dude is talking about. But he probably ain't been nowhere outside of New York. But like I say, if you live in New York, you know everything. That every one of them that I've met has been that way.
Settle down? Nah, that's cap. Now, I want to run to the next thing really quick before I give out the secret sauce of why some black men really do be struggling with black women, okay? Austin Dunham said some goofiness. He like, oh, well, because I don't got that thug image, black women don't really like me like that. I got more of that clean-cut R&B image, so that's why they don't really like me. First of all, Chris Brown is an R&B dude, not a thug rapper, and we're gonna use the industry because that's what they use. They're bringing up rappers like Lil Durk and stuff like that. Chris Brown don't got a thug image. He sings clean cut R&B. Women love him. Don't no rapper get more chicks than Chris Brown. August Alsina, Usher, Trey Songz, I can go down the line. So to say you more than R&B swag, clean cut, and that's why you're not getting women is crazy. At the end of the day, if there was a reason why black women might not be attracted to Austin Dunham, it's probably because he got that fag swag. And I am not saying that he's a member of the Fruit Loop Troop, but I'm saying his eyebrows is always arched, his face is always greasy, he's always in the mirror, and he kind of talks like this.
And you know what? That's why he gets those Latina women, because if this dude really was looking at them Hispanic guys around him, especially the Puerto Ricans and the Dominican guys, them jokers always stand looking good. If you start paying attention to your Hispanic homies, start doing that. Start looking at them. Start looking at them. Look at them. All the Hispanic guys I knew in the Army stayed in the gym and was always prettied up. That's why it attracts the Latina women, because that's what they used to seeing in their women. This dude ain't got no culture. None. And that's the problem with most of the black women, the black men. Most of the black men don't have no culture. And that's why they can't date outside their race, or they can't even get the high-level black women. Because you ain't got no culture. The high-level black women got culture. You're going to have to understand this type of stuff like this right here to have culture. And this dude don't understand it. Because this dude don't got no culture. If he was really paying attention to the Hispanics, he would see that the majority of the guys, the Hispanic guys, them first two guys that he's talking about, that light-skinned guy that was on the left, a lot of Hispanic guys looked just like him. Look just like him. And y'all go outside and start paying attention to it, and you'll see it's the truth.
He got that soft Michael Jackson voice. Like, Austin Dunham comes off to me like Drake did at the beginning of his new album with 21 Savage. Austin Dunham probably came up to Jack and Stack and was like, hey, Jack and Stack, can you do something for me? If there was any reason why black women wouldn't be attracted to you, it's probably because you come off as zesty, which is not going to bother white women, because most white men are on that spectrum of sexuality. I'll give you guys an example. One time,
He noticed this about the white man, but he hasn't noticed it about the Hispanics that he lives so close to. Because the truth is, he probably lives around the ghetto Hispanics. That's the problem, the truth about that. If you don't, dude, most Hispanic dudes be pretty boys. I don't understand why this dude ain't seen that. If he's living so close to that many of them, because I lived with them for years. Most of them Hispanic guys are pretty boys. This dude right here, you can't be paying attention to the real world, homie.
I got awarded a free vacation for one of my jobs for being one of the top performers. We were on a cruise. I had a white roommate, my guy Brandon. I'm asleep. His friends sneak in the room. I wake up like, what y'all doing? They're like, shh. He's asleep. They get up, get on top of him, act like they basically about to put their stick in his mouth, and then they record it, and he starts thrusting it in his face. Dude wake up like, That's the type of fruity stuff white dudes do that they think is funny. They be wanting to get pegged, they be wanting to get dominated, all types of stuff be going on, okay? That's a whole different world. So if you go over there and you talk like this, like Austin Dunham do, then yeah, the white women not gonna care as much, but the black women, they a little bit more used to a little bit more masculinity, a little bit more hyper masculinity, if anything. So you go over there talking like this, can you do something for me? Can you rich flex for me? They probably are gonna be like.
Now, I don't think this guy understands that when he just said that black women are used to a lot more hyper masculinity, he just said they're used to thugs. Because that's what's considered hyper masculine by everybody, not just the black guys, not just most people in groups consider hyper masculine to be thuggish in low class. I don't think he understands that. He's explaining it, and he explains it well. But see, this guy reminds me of Lucario. You're explaining something that you're a part of the category or group of, and you think that what you're explaining is good, but it's not.
Y'all ain't really feeling this cat like that. But now that we got all that cat out of the way, okay? Because at the end of the day, I don't have a thug image. I don't sag. I don't got tattoos all over my face. I'm not in no gangs. Now, I will say I am from the hood, so I can get with the vernacular.
Okay, he doesn't understand that you give off hood vibes because of the stuff that you're saying. The stuff you just explained sounds like a hood dude. The hood dudes do this a lot. They tell you that something's not this way, and then they explain how it is that way. That's kind of hood mentality, homie. I don't think he understands that. It is an ass backward way of thinking. So where you thinking you sounding like a certain way, and then you're not. But I'm gonna go on and let this guy keep talking. Let's see what he got to say.
I got a certain look to myself and a certain vibe about myself. Like I got kind of that face that always looks like I'm mad unless I'm telling a joke, even if I'm not. And a lot of chicks like that, but I am by no means a hood dude. I went to college, got my education, I work a white collar job, I own white collar businesses. So at the end of the day, if you remember
that's not what don't make you ghetto, homie. Going to college don't make you not ghetto. There's a lot of girls that went to college and they got all these degrees and stuff. And they're the one that was called in the Kevin Samuels show, and it was still hood chicks. That's a mentality, homie. It's not about what you're doing. It's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're thinking. And that's what a lot of guys gotta start understanding. Some of that shit ain't about what you're doing. Some of it's about what you're thinking. Some of it's about what's in your mind, and that's why you're at a certain level. Let me go.
This chill, you already know, I have no issues really getting any women, but especially black women. You talking about a dude with over 200 matches on Hinge, over 107 matches on Twitter. You talking about a dude who's already posted evidence, just walking down the streets, talking to chicks, have no problem pulling them, have no problem getting them to be submissive. Now, what's the difference between me and dudes like Jack and Stack that Austin does and all these other dudes online?
One of the differences is that you need to prove yourself. You got to post proof that you can do this. I ain't posting no proof of none of that shit. Shouldn't have to. You should be able to just tell this shit to people, and if they go try it and do it themselves, they will see that it works. But when you got to prove yourself, see, that's part of the ghetto stuff. You got to prove, you got to prove, got to prove, got to prove. You shouldn't have to prove none of this stuff to no grown-ass people. You should be able to just say it, and if they're living it, they're going to know that it's the real.
Who like to lie and cap and say, oh, black women only like thugs, because clearly that can't be the case if I'm finding success and I am not a thug. Well, the difference is, just like they say, oh, the image of a black man is a thug, and that's why black women only like thugs, the image of a black woman is ratchet, so most black men only want to holler at ratchet 304s, aka hood rats. Now, I'm going to give an example. They use the industry, so I'm going to use the industry. You go up to the average black man and you say, yo, what black women do you think are attractive in the industry? They're not going to say her. They're not going to say Ari Lennox. They're not going to say Georgia Smith. They're not going to say Ella May. These are not the women who are going to pop in their head. They're not going to say Indiari. Okay? They're most likely going to say Megan Thee Stallion. They're most likely going to say Ice Spice. They're most likely going to say Cardi B. They're most likely going to say Sweetie. Now, what's the difference between these sets of women?
Okay, now see, he's talking to if he thinks that's what the average person is saying, then see, that's make me think you talk to a lot of ghetto ass dudes. See, you keep saying you ain't a thug, but somehow you keep only getting around certain mentalities. If I go ask some of my homies that shit, they're not gonna say these people that you're talking about. They're gonna say Megan Thee Stallion the fucking slack. So it's Cardi B. Nobody I know thinks that even Offset should have married her, but he did. So, I mean, I don't know. This dude talked to a lot of trashy people to be somebody who's not trashy themselves.
Well, on one side you have feminine, nurturing, caring, submissive women, but better yet, women who don't just run around twerking, butt naked with a whole bunch of different colored wigs in their hair and are overly hypersexualized. They're more feminine, submissive, singing, traditional women. Then on the other side, you have the women with all the colors in their hair walking around butt naked, twerking, shaking their ass over, and talking all masculine, talking crazy, more hypersexualized.
Now see, the problem is, though, that is the majority of black women. That is a lot of them. The man I got on colored wigs and still got on all that hair and all that shit, that's a lot of them. And he don't want to bring up those points. You saying this junk, but you're not telling the reality. The reality is a bunch of them walking around with them damn wigs on talking shit and talking smack. Kevin Samuels showed you that.
And these are the women that typically black men want. You don't believe that? Let me take it out of the industry. When you watch red pill shows, when you watch typical manosphere shows, what type of women do they bring on? Do they usually bring on suburban, college educated, or from a high earning family black women? Or do they usually bring on ratchet ass IG models, ratchet ass OnlyFans models, ratchet rappers, twerkers, strippers, stuff like that, monetized women? If you answer monetized women, you are 100% right. When Sneeko and DJ Academics went to a strip club right after they was going in on that one girl about supposedly being a thought, who was Kevin Samuels predominantly interviewing? He was interviewing Blue Jasmines. He was interviewing Brittany Renners. That's not to say he didn't sometimes bring suburban women on his show from higher earning families.
Okay, now this nigga just capping. Now you just lying. This dude interviewed, I can name the 3 women. It's 3 women that dude interviewed, that Kevin Samuels interviewed, that might fit into this category. Brittany Renner, like he just said, that's one. He interviewed Nicki Minaj. He interviewed Shan Booty. Them was the only really high level women or any level women in that area. But the rest of the women that was on Kevin Samuels' show was all the everyday average chick. They was all the everyday average woman, and most of them was some type of woman with some type of big job. That it was definitely suburban. Matter of factly, when that dude went viral for the average at best thing, I think he was talking to a woman. She was some type of dog groomer or something, and she made 6 figures and stuff like that. But he said you still average at best. You mean to tell me that a woman making 6 figures that ain't suburban and stuff? I mean, like, I don't get what this dude is saying, and this is the problem with this. There's a problem with this. This manosphere is too full of people who don't have no culture, who have not been past certain levels of life, who will keep looking at junk in such a small ass way, and then don't even see it for really what it is. He's talking about the Kevin Samuels show, and he only had. I can understand it. Now, if he was talking about Fresh and Fit, yeah, but the Kevin Samuels show, hell no, that's just a lie. Ain't no sense to keep beating that one. Because he's definitely capping by now. And anybody that's watching this should be able to know that he's just capping as hell. He's this dude just on here talking. But let's see what he got to say to it now.
Educated women, but generally, when they do bring these type of women out, they make fun of them for being like that. Oh, you think you all that? You need to lower your standards. Da, 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 da. But the difference is, they bring the other chicks on. You can't humble a hood rat. A hood rat is unhumbleable. And let me tell you guys something. Most black men like the hood rats. Now, I can understand it. I told you before, ain't no V-box like a hood rat V-box. Hood rats got the best V-box in the land. I'm not even going to front. Not only do they have the best V-box, they the biggest freaks. When you clap a hood rat make it clap back. She throw it back. You like, yeah. She like, yeah. Y'all both getting at it. It's nothing like it. But at the end of the day, that's not the woman who's going to like you unless you're from the hood or you're a hood dude. Austin Dunham is not from the hood or a hood dude. Jack and Stack is not from the hood or a hood dude. So therefore, they're hollering at these type of women. Of course, these type of women are going to like thugs and bad boys. They're the female version of a thug and a bad boy.
I think it just explained it well. I just explained a little bit far ago. And the fact that you got these guys that keep running into it shows that there's a high percentage of it. I think he just don't want to say that there's a high percentage of that, but he's still doing it. But I digress. Let's let him keep going.
Y'all Miami type women, and y'all out here talking about how come these black women don't like me? That's why I put out a video a long time ago where I said a lot of black men need to stop going for the young Miami types, and they need to stop going for the her types. So let's talk about it. Just the same way y'all talking about how, most black women like the thug type because that's what's on TV. Most of y'all like the ratchet ghetto type because that's on TV. What's the difference? I know a bunch of black women who can't even get black men to pay them no attention because they're not that type of black woman if we're keeping it a buck. I got one chick I used to date named Chage. She was ultra into anime, Hello Kitty. She had Hello Kitty everything. I'm going to show y'all this just because I want y'all to know how serious she was. Yeah, she had Hello Kitty, everything. She was all about anime. She was a major cosplayer, all that. She loved black men. Black men did not approach her. She's like, oh, they don't like me. They think that I'm weird. They tell me that I talk white. Da 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 da. Now I guarantee you, a Jack and Stack when they had no problem talking to her, or Austin Dunham when they had no problem talking to her. But they want to talk to her because she don't have the big ghetto booty.
Well, I don't get this. He said he used to date her. Now he's talking all this smack about it, but you don't want to talk to her either. You used to date her. So how the fuck is that even an example? See, that's what we're saying. These ghetto ass niggas be getting on here saying this bullshit, and they just talk themselves into another motherfucking corner. You used to date her, but you ain't with her no more. So what was the problem with her then? Because you need to tell us what the problem with her was. She obviously wasn't no damn good. You left her ass.
At the end of the day, she don't got the bright colors. She not twerking around everywhere. She not carrying herself with that hood rat swag. They don't want that. They want black women with that hood rat sauce, but they're not hood dudes, so they can't get that at the end of the day.
And you didn't want that either. So why did it even matter for you to bring up what they want or not when you didn't want it either? See, guys, this is the problem in the manosphere. You got too many people on here talking dumb shit and nobody being real.
If you look at someone like Baby Girl grew up in an area predominantly surrounded by white men. Okay? So there's certain things about the black culture, certain looks about the black culture, certain way that the typical black girl behaves, or at least that's portrayed in media, that she doesn't necessarily do. And she'll tell you, well, a lot of black men don't come up to me and approach me like that. Why? Because she doesn't look like the typical hood rat. I repeat, because she doesn't fit that stereotype, that Ice Spice, that Young Miami, that Sweetie, that Megan Thee Stallion stereotype. Y'all look right past her. And this happens all the time. So the same way y'all complaining, oh, these women look past us, y'all looking past them because the image of...
But you look past them. You're saying y'all, but you look past them. You dated one and left her, so what the fuck? She didn't fit your criteria either. Probably because you like this hood ass shit. The shit you explaining is probably what you like. You just showed us somebody who wasn't, and you said, I used to date. He didn't say she moved away. He didn't see her, nothing like that. So maybe that happened, but I doubt it. And the more thing is, probably he didn't like her because she wasn't ratchet.
The black man and the black woman is all hood rat, hood chick, and all hood ultra thug. What? So what are we really talking about here? At the end of the day, I'm tired of people acting like the black community just operates on this one microcosm where we're all one way. We are not all from the hood. There are plenty of black women who play instruments. There are plenty of black women who like anime, who like comic book stuff, who grew up in the suburbs, who got more money than you. I live in the DMV. There are people in DC. There are people in PG. There are people in Montgomery County, for example, who can go to whatever white neighborhood you grew up in or you lived in and slap with their wallet. I repeat, they go up to any white neighborhood you ever lived in, and they can slap them with their wallets. So to just act like, oh, only black women only like hood dudes, or oh, hood black dudes are hood dudes. What's the difference between saying black women only like hood dudes and a black woman saying, oh, well, y'all only like ratchet IG models? There's no difference. There's no difference. Just like there's no difference between y'all saying, oh, all black women are unsubmissive. All black women are masculine. And them saying, okay, well, all black men are dusty and don't take care of their kids. See, y'all like to put everybody in these boxes. There's a spectrum of black people. There's not just one type of black people. For every one black girl who likes hood dudes, there's another black girl who can't even relate to that culture. She didn't even grow up in that culture. She's not even introduced to hood dudes. She's not even around hood dudes. So that's the one you need to be talking to. But that's not the one that was hypersexualized to you. So that's not the one you want. And that's what no one's talking about, and that's what we really need to talk about. So no, all black...
Now, he's right that needs to get talked about, but I don't think it needs to get talked about by him. Because you don't really... This dude hasn't cultured himself enough, especially to sit there and tell you about the Latinos. I mean, like, I don't care how... He said he lived right by them. He ain't got a damn clue about them. Not at all. The stuff he explained one thing, oh, they rock with you. Then he go around and tell you how they're gonna be race loyal and shit. Like I told you that before he even said that. I didn't know that dude was gonna say that kind of junk, and he did. But so my thing is that maybe he does know about them, but he's being willfully blind to a lot of other stuff. And you can't sit there and be willfully blind to certain things. That ain't gonna work. So I mean, like the thing with the Latino chicks and shit like that, what he's saying, that's bullshit. Now the thing about want to talk about this, because yeah, I said on my channel, stop going after the ratchet chicks. But but I do understand this right here. For black guys, that means you just lowered yourself to a very small group of women, and that's what he don't want to put out. He don't want to say that, but I will. If you're the black guy and you're not intending on getting a ratchet woman and you want a black woman, you lowered yourself to a very, very small ass group of women. That's why I keep saying you're gonna have to work extra hard, because you're gonna have to get to you ain't got a whole lot of options, and that's what he ain't trying to say. Them ones and twos he's talking about it ain't like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying, it's like a fucking 50-to-1 ratio. And he's not explaining that part. He did, but he didn't. He talks about the wigs and all the other stuff, but that's pretty much all of them.
Women do not like hood dudes. Black women like a variety of different dudes. Just like there's a variety of different black men, there's a variety of different black women. Alright, now I would never come on here and say, oh, white women must not like black men, because if there's one group of women I tend to have trouble with, it's white women. I don't really relate with white women like that. I'm cool with the white dudes, but I don't really relate with white women like that. Asian women, I got my lot. Latino women, got my lot. Black women, got my lot. White women, we don't.
He's not going to relate to white women and see the Asian women and stuff that he's probably getting, probably, like you say, he's hanging around the Latinos and stuff. He's hanging around the lower level once he gets them. But even the lower level white chicks probably would not take this dude. In areas that he's talking about, he lives in, D.C. and all that stuff like that, New York and stuff. Because they already can peep out certain stuff. This stuff that he's saying right now, they already, look, a lot of people don't like to acknowledge this part, but white people have to play this culture game a little bit harder than everybody else. And this is the reason why. Okay, you could be a black dude and be hood, they'll call you a king. You could be a black woman and be trashy and ghetto, they'll still call you queen. But if you a white person that lives in a trailer park, the white people call you trash. They call you trailer trash, white trash. They don't respect their lower level group of people. So white people, they can't really get in that lower group like that. If they depend on things. And with the way he's saying right now, I don't think he would go after a trailer trash white girl. He would go after a white girl who's probably got a little something about herself. She's not taking him because he's definitely an uncultured guy. He doesn't understand a lot about different cultures and stuff. He thinks he does, but and if somebody's built themselves to a certain level of his life, they're going to. He's getting Asian women and stuff like this. Yeah, okay, maybe. But he probably getting the low level ones. Or he probably getting the fetish ones, like he said before. They'll smash you. Yeah. Even he said that in this video. They'll smash you, but they probably not take you serious. I don't see you married to none of them. Maybe he don't want to do that. But that's what he would tell me. But either way as it goes, no. No. Let's see what this guy's saying, close this on out.
Don't really connect like that. The only white women I get is when they just like, damn, you fine as hell, and they basically lay it up for me. But if there's anything outside of that, we're probably not going to really connect. Now, I wouldn't come out here and say, oh.
Fetish. He just, damn, I didn't even get it out of my mouth. And he went ahead and made me be right. See, guys, that's why I do these reviews for y'all, because I can see through all this bullshit. I can see through all this bullshit. Yeah. You know what? He's fine. I'll smash him. And then after that, that's going to be it. The same exact thing he just explained before. Because, see, anybody that got themselves up to certain levels of money and shit like that is not going to lower themselves by hooking up with a dirty-ass mate that's not going to be able to fit with that. White people didn't been dealing with the money culture and shit in this country a lot longer than the rest of us. Like I said, when they're at the bottom, they get called trash. So, you know.
Oh, white women don't like black men. White men don't like black men unless you this or unless you that. Nah, because I know plenty of dudes who get white women like that. Some of my dudes, they grew up in white suburbs. They know how to talk to white women, so they get white women like that, even though they black. So just because I can't do something, I'm not gonna come online and be irresponsible with my platform and just be like, oh, it's white women, they don't like black men, blah, 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 blah. Because the problem with what y'all doing is, now a dude watches your video, you go viral, now any black dude who's not hood think, oh, I can't get no black women. When that's cap. There's plenty, an abundance of black women you can get without being a hood dude. An abundance.
Now, I agree with him on that. I agree with him. There's a bunch of black women you can get without being a hood dude. Now, I'm also going to say this because he didn't say this part. Your ass gonna have to have some culture about you too, because they're gonna have some. They're gonna have some culture about them. The reason this guy can't really date outside of his race or date to certain levels of women is he ain't got no culture. He thinks he does, but really don't. There's been several situations here where he explained stuff and he explained it away. And then he just straight up capped about the Kevin Samuels thing. That dude had 3 women on his show that people know about. 3. The rest of them was all women that was the everyday average woman that was calling in talking to this dude. Every last one of them. See, that's what I'm trying to say. When you make up stuff in your mind and you see, when you go towards people who are actually thinking in this world, the minute you start talking, they're gonna be able to tell you not thinking or you thinking bullshit. That's why I like doing these reviews, because I'm that kind of person, and I can see right through when a person's talking. And I listen to him. This dude done explain shit, and then 5 minutes later he explained the opposite of it. Most people that have any culture about themselves are going to avoid this kind of person. So you'll still get people, but you're going to get the low-level, uncultured people.
It's a tired narrative, and it's an easy thing to say. People don't want to deep think on these platforms. They want to go with what's easy. I'm going to take whatever everybody else is saying, and I'm going to just say the same thing. I'm not going to talk about what really happens outside. A lot of you dudes need to touch grass, and a lot of you dudes who making content, y'all need to keep it all the way real and keep it all the way funky, and stop just backing off of, oh, what's everybody else saying.
And that's what he needs to do. He needs to do the same thing that he's talking about right now. He needs to go outside and touch the grass. And he needs to go walk around and go find out a bit more about people before he starts talking. This guy needs to practice what he preaches. I lived around different groups of people for 15 to 20 years, y'all, in the military. I ain't even come home that much. That's why I was able to explain those things about the Latinos, and then him to explain it away later on. I've talked to this kind of person a bunch. My homie on the other channel, Opinion of Some Average Bros, he'll tell you, I used to talk to everybody. He used to tell me about that. Y'all see him leaving the comments on my junk and stuff. Y'all check out his channel. He's got a video that I'm thinking about pulling too, to do a clip of 2 of. But I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to call his ass, talk to him about that. But yeah. Hey, I'm not getting to send me the clip. Anyway, yeah, he needs to practice what he's preaching. This dude needs to do what he's saying. He needs to go outside and go to get some culture and really go dig in and go live with these people and go be around these people and see what they're saying and see what's really going on. He's calling old boy cap about Latina women, but I believe the old boy probably could, because that old boy name was look like my Puerto Rican homies. You know how my Puerto Rican homies used to look. All the time. And if you start paying attention to your Puerto Rican friends, you'll start to see that's true too. I don't think this dude really got, like, he's talking smack, but yeah. And he's talking about being responsible. He's being irresponsible on his platform. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let's let him go and finish, and let's close it out for the day.
I'm just saying the same thing. It's okay to be the contrarian sometimes. No, black women do not only like hood dudes. Black women operate on a spectrum just like black men do. At the end of the day, like, we don't all want to be called dusty. We don't all want to be called baby daddies. We have no reason to turn around and just say, oh, they only like thugs. All of them are masculine. None of them cook. None of them clean. None of them are submissive. Because it's cap.
Okay, it's not cap. That shit is a high percentage of them motherfuckers. All that stuff he just said, aside from the maybe, okay, you just like thugs, but I don't cook, I don't clean, I'm masculine. That's a high percentage of black women right now. It's one of the things that a lot of these guys on here talking about that I do agree with, but you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, what you saying it to them, but they ain't changing, so it don't really matter. But it ain't cap. A lot of stuff that women are supposed to do, a lot of black women don't want to do. Even Kevin Samuels kept saying like that black women, a lot of them are lazy daters. And that's the truth. A lot of black guys are lazy daters too, but the real is the real. Be real on both sides.
And I'm not the only dude who don't have these problems with black chicks. There's other dudes just like me. Most of them not online for various different reasons, but still, there's other dudes just like me. So no, that's cap. Black women like a spectrum of black men. Clean cut black men can definitely get girls. R&B style black men, whatever type of black man you are, you can definitely get girls. You do not have to be a super thug to get black women. That is cap. That's my thoughts.
First off, that's not what the dudes was saying. That's not what nobody is saying. That's not what nobody's saying. What this guy needs to understand is that there's a certain group of black women that you're not going to get unless you fit some of them narratives. That is just the truth. And it's a high percentage of them. He said so himself. Most black women are used to hyper-masculine men. He is not lying when he says that. The problem is that it doesn't go along with the rest of what the fuck else he's saying when he says it. Let's let him finish.
But I do agree with them that you should go where you want it. This is not a video trying to force y'all to date black chicks. That's not what this is about. It's just disrupting the narrative, the false narrative that you gotta be a super thug, what, to get you a black chick. You do not have to be like that. I am Alex and I am out. Peace.
Bet.
You are now listening to.
Let me go ahead and pause it up and put myself in the middle here. And let's go ahead and talk this out the last few minutes of it that I'm gonna do. First off, nobody is saying. No, I don't think those guys are saying that. He just said a lot. And they actually said in the video when the two guys was talking. I ain't trying to say it. I don't want to just bash them, but it's a lot of them. And that's the fucking truth. But it's not, no, you don't have to be no super thug to get black women. But you're gonna have to have a little gangster in you to get a lot of them. It's a lot of them that you're gonna have to have some of that in you to get. Which is just the truth. Now, if you don't want to tell that truth, then I'll do it. Because it's starting to seem like it's only going to be one guy here over these next couple of years that I'm going to be here because I ain't staying forever. That's going to tell this truth. But this dude needs to get a little more culture about himself before he goes talking. Especially about Hispanics. Because they're not down with black people like that. Look, I love Hispanics. I got a lot of Hispanic homies, okay? But it's one thing I understand about them. If it comes down to my race or theirs, it's going to be theirs. And I got no problem with that. I just ain't got no problem with that because this is how most races are to me. Gonna pick your own tribe. But for what he's saying about like he doesn't believe the guys about Latina women, I do, because when I look at them guys, that's how I see most of my homies that was Hispanic. That's how they look. They stay in the gym, they be pressed up like them guys, and that's what, like he said, the black women are used to hyper masculine thug looking types. What those two guys look like is what Latinas are used to, and that's what they get. But he calls that cap. Because he ain't got no culture, he don't understand those things. But the thing of it is I'm out of here on this one. Y'all go ahead, hit the like, y'all hit the subscribe for me. I just want subscribers, never gonna ask you for money. And we're gonna keep watching a couple of these guys over the years until I'm out of here and I can't take no more. But it's been tossed down to y'all. Y'all drop the comments, let me know what y'all think about this one. Go hard or go home.